In the previous lesson, we saw how to use Python to parse HTML and return only the plain text from a web page. In this lesson, we're going to parse HTML again and return just the links that are found on a web page. So let's get started. We're going to call this program getlinks.py. First thing we need to do is import the libraries that we need. So we need URLlib, HTMLlib, and formatter. Always have to have formatter because the HTML parser class requires it. Once again, we'll open our URL and store it in a variable. Then we'll read the data from that website into a variable. Close the website variable because we're finished with it. Create our format. This time we're not going to write anything to the screen that needs any sort of real fancy formatting, even though the formatting in the previous lesson wasn't all that fancy. So this time we're going to use nullWriter, which essentially means not really a format, but we have to pass an argument, so we'll pass the nullWriter format as the argument. Now we're ready to create a parser. So we do that in this line. Again, we'll use ptext as the variable. So now we're going to parse the data, so ptext.feed data will parse it. When the data is parsed, we can simply look at the list of links by calling a variable or a property that exists on ptext now called anchor list. So let's just look at that first. So let's save our script or our program. Then let's run it. And you'll see that it saves the links as a list. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 links total. Of course, they're not very useful as a list, or they're hard to read. So what we'd like to do is display them individually. So we'll write a little for loop. Like so. So this for loop is going to pull each link out of our list right here and then display it one to a line. So let's save the program. Back here, let's clear the screen. Run it again. And this time we get the links individually. So as you can see, using the HTML parser class, parsing HTML is very easily done. And in the previous lesson and this lesson, we've shown you two very typical examples of why you might want to parse HTML. So with these two ideas in mind, we're ready to move to the first example program or demonstration program in this chapter, and we're going to see how to write a screen scraper, which will allow us to retrieve parts of a web page based on some sort of criteria that we provide. And we'll see that in the next lesson.